Live from KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A construction worker known for carrying large amounts of cash found shot in the face at a job site. Now police are asking for your help to find out who killed Jesus Solis.
This happened 3 years ago on the northeast side around the 5600 block of Tranquil Dawn on January 13th, 2020.
Garrett Berger talks with Solis' sister, who's asking for someone, anyone, to come forward.
3 years ago, Jesus Solis was at a construction site in this area, here early in the morning for work. But police think someone else was looking to make a quick buck.
A co-worker found Solis slumped over the center console in his truck, bleeding from the face. He was pronounced dead at the hospital with a gunshot wound to his left cheek.
I was in shock. I never thought something like this would happen to him.
Customarily the first one on site, Solis had gotten there at about 5:20 that day. He was also known to carry thousands of dollars at a time, something his sister would worry about.
He believed on carrying cash. I would always tell him, why you carry so much cash? In case my car breaks down, my truck breaks down.
It was only his second day at that particular site, and police suspect he was robbed.
I don't believe that it was a random person. I believe that it was someone that knew my brother. He worked 12 hours in the heat. And then for somebody, to rob him and murder him, for his money.
Crime Stoppers say Solis came in contact with many people who may only recognize his vehicle, and someone close to his killer might remember them having an unexplainable amount of cash on them immediately after the murder. His sister asking anyone who knows something to come forward.
I want justice for my brother's death. He didn't deserve this. He didn't.
Crime Stoppers says it may pay up to $5,000 for information leading to felony arrests. We have information on how to anonymously submit tips on our website. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office has made an arrest in a double murder that happened early this morning, but that investigation is far from over. Deputies need help finding another person who's considered a person of interest in the death of two people at an apartment complex this morning. Our Camelia Juarez has the very latest. Camelia, you've been following this story. Who's been arrested so far?
Steve, so far deputies arrested one woman, 42-year-old Sharice Wiley Taylor. We have video of her arrest, so take a look. Taylor was charged with capital murder. Around 1:30 this morning, deputies found two men dead outside of the Village of Briggs Ranch apartment. It's in the 5500 block of Mansions Bluff. One man was found lying near a parked car while the other was on a walkway. Deputies took Taylor in for questioning and believe she has some sort of involvement with the deadly altercation. Her son, 25-year-old Deleon Taylor Griffith, is a person of interest in this case, and BCSO deputies are looking for him. Sheriff Javier Salazar says he is armed and dangerous and believes he may have been present during or after the shooting.
We believe at this point is that this argument that escalated to the point of gunshots being fired and the victims losing their lives was that it was an argument over the keys to a car. That I believe the female suspect, Wiley Taylor, and at least one of the victims co-own.
Now, if you have any information about Deleon's whereabouts or more information about the shooting, you're urged to call BCSO at 210-335-6000. Reporting live from the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Thanks, Camelia. New information in a fatal hit and run on W.W. White Road. The victim's name has now been released. The Bexar County Medical Examiner's Office says the man killed yesterday was 25-year-old John Abraham Ortega. San Antonio police say, according to witnesses, Ortega was staggering across the street just before he was hit, possibly by an SUV. That driver did not stop. Officers say that person, once they are found, may be facing criminal charges.
The search for a gunman who police say targeted two teenagers made more difficult after the victims withhold information. That's right, the victims were not cooperative. The 15-year-old males did tell investigators they were walking down Zarzamora near Walton Avenue when someone drove by and opened fire. One of those teenagers was shot in the finger, the other shot in the foot. Both teens were treated at a hospital. They're expected to be okay, but police say neither of them would give a description of the suspect's vehicle or how many people were inside.
Search warrants done by the Bexar County Sheriff's Office called into question in court today in the case of Andre McDonald. He's the Air Force major charged with the 2019 murder of his wife, Andreen McDonald. McDonald's defense team is trying to get search warrants thrown out as evidence in this trial. During one search done a day after Andreen was reported missing, the defense says that deputies went inside the McDonald's home through an open window without permission and no warrant.
There's no fact that would justify a conclusion of an ongoing emergency. We have a warrantless entry into the home.
Now, the prosecution rebutted, saying the deputies did have probable cause since they noticed a garage door broken and off the hinge, and they suspected that someone might have been hurt. Ultimately, Judge Frank Castro seemed to agree with the state and denied the defense's motion, but the pretrial hearing's not over yet. More issues are being brought up by the defense, and that hearing will continue tomorrow, with opening statements in the trial expected to happen on Monday. You can watch all this live on KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and the KSAT YouTube page.
It was a record-breaking year for firearms and guns intercepted at San Antonio International Airport. The Transportation Security Administration recently released its numbers for airports across the country. A total of 108 firearms were found on carry-on luggage last year alone at San Antonio International. That's compared to just 65 in 2021. The agency says at no point is a gun or any gun part like a silencer or even bullets allowed on your carry-on luggage. But you can travel with a firearm on checked luggage.
Make sure that your gun is unloaded, no bullets, that it's packed in a hard-sided container and that it's locked with a padlock, and that you declare your gun with the airline.
Actually, more firearms being confiscated is part of a national trend. TSA reports that South Texas airports from San Antonio to the Rio Grande Valley saw a record number of firearm discoveries last year, 145 compared to 89 in 2021.
Not a first for San Antonio Fire Department today. Crews battled a fire at a scrapyard on the southwest side, and it's happened several times. We could see huge plumes of black smoke in the air when this happened. This is video of the fire on Frio City Road, not far from Quintana Road, from our TransGuide camera. The San Antonio Fire Department tells us there have been 8 fires here in the past 5 years. No word yet on what started the one today, but no one was hurt. $50,000 in damage to a home in Live Oak thanks to an overnight fire. This happened at a home along Forest Stream a little after 12:30. It's between Topperwine and O'Connor Road. The 2 people inside the house were able to get out of the 2-story home safely before crews got there. Officials say it looks like the fire started in a garage and was caused by some sort of electrical problem. We're told the homeowner helped keep the fire from spreading by using the garden hose in the backyard.
Check out traffic right now. We're going to go to 281 at San Pedro, and you can see a stalled vehicle actually seems to be causing this backup. Again, it's 281 at San Pedro, and you can see as 281, I believe that's the southbound lanes of 281, getting backed up. All of this apparently over a stalled vehicle. Well, new at 6, Crystal City, southwest of San Antonio, perhaps best known as the spinach capital of Texas. But more than 50 years later, many don't remember or even know about the student walkout there and its pivotal role in Mexican-American civil rights. Jesse DeGollado has a preview of Crystal City 1969. It's a play at the Guadalupe Theater, and it's already sold out.
Toiling in the fields with their parents, Spanish was common, but in the classroom,
no one's gonna hit her for speaking Spanish.
I don't want my little sister to go through all that.
This has to stop.
The spanking, the shaming, and more.
In other cases, students would be slapped in the face.
The play's director, David Lozano, says Crystal City 1969 is about the town's systemic racism.
The quasi-Jim Crow culture that was taking place.
Until a young generation growing up in an era of civil rights fought back.
Their consciousness began to awaken, and they realized that it was time for a change.
Their student walkout was led by one of Crystal City's own, Jose Angel Gutierrez, an organizer who believed mobilizing young people could lead to real change at the ballot box.
How can our people be so asleep? So asleep!
You can't lose hope!
Who needs hope? We've got the numbers. We can change Cristal overnight.
In portraying the civil rights pioneer, actor Actor Eddie Sertuche says he tries to convey Jose Angel Gutierrez's voice and message of empowerment.
Strong and with poignancy.
Enough so that the students ultimately got what they wanted.
Not to be ridiculed, not to be called names, essentially not to be dehumanized.
All 5 performances are sold out. That alone says a lot.
People are eager to hear their story reflected on stage.
It's something to be very proud of and not forgotten.
Jesse Degollado, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look outside with live cam this evening. This one of those days where there is sunshine, but a little chill in the air. Cooler out there.
Yeah, temperatures on the downswing a bit. And we do have, by the way, a beautiful sunset taking shape. So if you have a good vantage point, you get some good colors, snap that photo and upload it to our KSAT Weather Authority app just on the home screen. Go to the bottom and you'll see that little camera. Anyway, 71 degrees, that was our high temperature today. So after some days around 80, we're starting that downward trend and even noticeably cooler come tomorrow. We're down to 64 right now, dew point at 26, so still dry air still in place. If you have dry skin, you have to get used to it. We're not going to get that flow off the Gulf of Mexico for quite some time. High thin clouds this evening, not much of a breeze. Of course, very low humidity, down to near 50 degrees at midnight. Tomorrow morning, we'll start the day at 47. So a bit of a chill in the air in the morning. Notice our morning temperature trend, though. It's up and down quite a bit. You see more 30s on the screen than we've had recently. And actually, by next week, Wednesday and Thursday mornings, we'll be near freezing again. So below average temperatures on the way. I'll be back to talk about how the high temperatures change and growing optimism in terms of our next rain chance, along with the newest drought monitor and who's got it the worst in just a bit.
Welcome back. I'm Stefania Jimenez, and here's a preview as to what we're working on for you tonight on the Night Beat. A potentially major change for one local school district, the scheduling option that's under consideration for Harlandale ISD. Plus, health inspectors visit 2 restaurants, one of them inside of a strip club. The violations that had the city concerned for customers when we go behind the kitchen door. We'll see you for these stories and more tonight on the Night Beat.
Thanks, Stefania. Well, here is something to be aware of if you take dietary or herbal supplements. Cardiologists say that a recent surge in heart problems in people in their 20s and 30s could be linked. Ursula Perry shows us so-called natural herb solutions that could end up with a heartbreaking result.
Bitter orange for heartburn or nausea, ephedra for colds, and fish oil for heart health. But instead of boosting your health, they could all be hurting your heart. Some cardiologists say that these supplements, which are mostly unregulated, have contributed to irregular heartbeats in people under the age of 30. Johns Hopkins University preventative cardiologist Aaron Mikos has studied dietary supplements and the heart for years.
So many individuals are taking these when many well-done clinical trials have shown that these supplements are no better than placebo, and they may be a waste of money, and in worst case scenario, there may be some harm.
Instead, Dr. Mikos and other experts encourage patients to alter their diets to get the nutrients they need.
I really push my patients to try to get that from food sources alone.
So, more milk, cheese, and yogurt for a calcium boost. And here are some other substitutions. Rub bitter orange on the skin instead of ingesting it, and you'll have the same benefits. Use green tea extract instead of ephedra. And for those omega-3s, eat salmon or mackerel instead of taking fish oil.
According to the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, part of the NIH, otherwise healthy people have experienced chest pain as well as fainting after taking a supplement that contained bitter orange, among several other ingredients. It's hard to know if the two are linked, but nevertheless, the NCAA has decided to put bitter orange on its current list of banned drugs, now considering it to be some sort of a stimulant. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's take a live look outside. Let's just go inside the studio.
I've got a live look for you.
It's 64 degrees, and it is Thursday.
It is. Big day around here. Big day.
Are you surprised I remembered?
No, you just said it's Thursday.
Oh, you forgot.
Oh,
the first part.
Thermometer Thursday.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot that part. But I did remember the day, and I knew it was important to you.
You're just looking ahead to Friday. My big day of the week is Thursday. I don't like Fridays because then it's just 6 more days to Thursday. Ugh. All right, let's talk about our rain chances in the days ahead because there's growing optimism for our rain as we get into next week. Not so much the next couple of days. Look at 10% tomorrow. A sprinkle or so. That's about it. Saturday, we're up to 20%. That's mainly in the morning along and east of I-35. Very light in nature. Next Tuesday, especially in the morning, this is what we were talking about yesterday where there's at least some hope to be raising that rain chance. Well, I brought it up a little bit already, up to 40%. Showers, maybe even some thunderstorms early on Tuesday. So that puts us in the scattered category. A little better coverage is the way it's looking right now. So here's the setup, the big picture. We've got 2 swirling systems, one over the Great Lakes and another one over the western U.S., over the Rockies. And this is bringing some more moisture to the parts of the Intermountain West, of course, heavy snowfall in the higher elevations and rain in parts of the desert, even around Las Vegas. Well, this little dip is going to head eastward, and it's going to combine with just a little burst of energy coming off of Mexico and the Pacific to give us maybe a few sprinkles tomorrow, extra cloud cover, and then also combining to give us a stray shower to Saturday morning. I mean, we're not looking at much. Here's a look at our futurecast early on Saturday, and there are several different model renditions. I just think this one best represents what we can expect. A few little hits on the radar screen here and there on Saturday. Maybe a 1/10 of an inch in a few isolated locations, a few lucky neighborhoods, but generally speaking, just a sprinkle or two here and there. And then we'll see a clearing line west to east by Saturday afternoon. So pretty minimal in terms of the rain, at least as we go through the weekend. More hope for it and better odds into the early part of next week. Of course, we could use it. It's not even going to be a drought denter on Saturday. It could on Tuesday. We could put a little dent in the drought, but we're looking at the area of Texas right here around San Antonio and especially northward and westward. You get to Bandera County, Medina County, Comal, Kendall, Kerr County. That's where we have some of the worst drought in the state right here. In our backyard, that's our luck. And we've been in that extreme to exceptional drought since March, I should say. Even West Texas, not even nearly as dry as we are in terms of the drought monitor. All right, there's that live picture for you. Nice sunset that took shape there. 64 degrees now, dew point at 26. Dewies are down in the 20s. So we notice that dry air, and it's going to stick around. Tuesday, maybe briefly bumping up to around 50 degrees for the dew point, but generally very dry air in place. So chapped lips, dry skin, that's going to be the rule for now. Actually, it looks like we're transitioning into a pattern that's going to give us the drier and even cooler air for the extended forecast. I'm saying beyond 7 days. Temps across the state, a little more winter-like, some 60s, Hello to 64, Stinson at 63. Tomorrow morning, we start the day at 47 at 7 a.m. Mostly cloudy throughout the day. By noon, 54. There's that 10% chance. A stray shower, that's about it. 58 degrees. That'll be our high temperature in town. Maybe about 60 in Pleasanton, but that's going to be the exception. For the most part, we're talking upper 50s tomorrow. And notice the trend, 62 on Saturday, even near 70 by Sunday and Monday. But next week, after that chance of rain in that system, we'll have some mornings down near freezing and afternoons near 60, which is actually below average for a change. Little shift in our pattern on the way.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
All right. He is a young Spur who's showing signs of improvement, Larry.
Every year, Keldon Johnson has gotten better. His points per game has certainly gone up. Now, this year, he's looking to increase his free throw attempts. It's something that he worked on during the offseason, and it is paying off. Plus, did a blade of grass or lack thereof mess up Brett Maher in Tampa Bay? Coming up.
Unfortunately, the Tampa field is pretty terrible. It was when I was there as well, too. We sent it into the NFLPA. One of our snappers was involved with NFLPA a lot, and it was five worst field surfaces in the NFL.
Cowboys punter Brian Anger has no love for the football field at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa in Big Board Sports. The San Antonio Spurs held practice this morning ahead of their matchup with the LA Clippers tomorrow night. Now in his 4th NBA season, small forward Keldon Johnson is on pace to set a personal record for free throw attempts in a single season. In 39 games played this season, he's gone to the charity stripe 209 times, closing in on his record of 234 he set last year. Trying to earn free throws is important to Keldon.
Every summer I just try to add a little bit to my game. And getting to the free throw line, getting some easy baskets. Because, like you said, I get down here, I play physical. I hit the floor a lot, and just letting that pay off if I can get some easy ones at the line and making them count at that.
Spurs will host the Clippers tomorrow night at 7 at the AT&T Center to close out their 4-game homestand. The Clippers played at the Jazz last night on the backside of back-to-back games, so Kawhi Leonard and Paul George sat out for rest, and the Jazz took advantage. Utah led wire-to-wire and by as many as 25 points over the weary Clippers. Jazz forward Lauri Markkanen was too tough to handle in this one. He scored a game-high 34 points, shooting 11 of 20 overall and 6 of 8 from three-point range. That's his 11th game with at least 30 points this season. Jazz win 126-103. The Clippers come to San Antonio on a 2-game losing streak.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
After missing 4 extra points against Tampa Bay, the normally reliable Brett Maher will look to rebound against the 49ers on Sunday in Cali. Punter Brian Anger, a former Buccaneer himself, says the field at Tampa Bay is one of the worst in the league. On top of that, the Cowboys' hold procedure on extra points was interrupted when an official prohibited Anger from using a white grass blade as a sightline, calling it a foreign substance, which isn't allowed. Anger said he's done it all season. Plucked a piece of white turf. He sits it down as a sightline to make sure he gets the ball down in Maher's preferred spot. Anger was asked, what is it about a field surface that can affect a kicker from doing his job?
Consistency, I guess. For us, turf is great because turf is consistent. Grass changes things a little bit, but grass should be consistent. And that's where it was a little soggy last week, and we had to move the ball off the hash a little bit, which is never noticed by anybody. You guys have never seen anything. It's never been talked about before, so it's really not a big deal. And it was made into a big deal. So yeah, we'll just keep things as consistent as we can.
Maher made 50 of 53 extra point attempts in the regular season, and 2 of those 3 misses were blocked. We recently caught up with college football tight end Connor Fox at Lifetime Fitness, working out with Wyoming wide receiver Chase Locke and local trainer Coach Calvin. Connor is doing his best to stay in shape by getting in speed work, agility training, along with strength work. Back in early December, Connor tweeted his entering the transfer portal after 4 great years at Kansas State.
I had a great 4 years at Kansas State. It was awesome. I met my best friends for life up there. I'm transferring out just to look for a better opportunity to get on the field. I dealt with some injuries up there. So now I'm looking to go play and get on the field immediately, get some playing time, get some tape, make some plays, and hopefully that'll, by doing this, will allow the opportunity to play at the next level.
And he will get that chance at Texas State. Last week he tweeted, "There's more story to be told. #committed Texas State football." So congratulations, Connor.
All right, that exercise they were doing with the band where the guy pulls the trainer, that's like me and my dog on a walk.
So you get a good workout all the time.
Yeah. So yeah.
You go that fast?
And my dog could play tight end at Kansas State.
Okay, there you go.
So,
yeah.
No, I'm
there's
not
an opening.
that, but it's that's what it reminded me of. Like, hold on.
That's cool.
Thanks, Larry. Our KSAT Q&A is up next. There are several local businesses that have been dealing with months of challenges because of construction in a lot of areas around San Antonio. You've heard us talk about the St. Mary's Strip, but it's not just there. It's kept customers from coming in. So we're going to talk about some help that's on the way, but what they've really been dealing with. We have Aaron Pena joining us now for today's KSAT Q&A, owner of the Squeeze Box along the St. Mary's Strip. Aaron, thank you so much for being here. We know it's been tough for you these last several months. We've talked a lot about this construction saga right here, but give us a real good picture of the challenges that you've faced. What's this construction meant for your business?
Absolutely. Well, thank y'all firstly for having me this evening. It's great to be with y'all. And thank y'all as well for covering so much of this construction woes that we've been dealing with down on St. Mary's. Comparatively in loss terms, we're looking at, hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost revenue that just me personally that I've been dealing with, but I'm not unique. I'm kind of joined in this community of business owners who have been dealing with the same thing, not just in St. Mary's, but on North New Braunfels, different corridors in downtown San Antonio. It's been really tough to get customers to go down there because I feel like the narrative is that you just can't get down there. And, as you're showing the pictures on our screen, this is what we're dealing with every day down there. So the narrative is not too far off that you can't get down there. It's been very challenging and sometimes even more challenging than what we dealt with during COVID, which is a lot to say out loud.
Yeah, you actually have told us in the past that you made $67 your business in one weekend day during this mess.
Right. That was on a Sunday about a month or two ago. And, even during my drive-through model during COVID, we had better days and better nights than that. So it's been super tough. I mean, I know that the public's probably tired of hearing us come on the news and gripe about this, but, this is unlike anything we've ever faced. I mean, this is prolonged construction that's impacted dozens of businesses that are just unable to operate.
But Aaron, first off, I want to say I've noticed that the squeeze box for some reason seems to be ground zero for all this construction outside its doors, during this whole thing. It's kind of where it started, and it's still that way. It kind of seems like that's the last stretch they're going to get done. So I understand your frustration, but you're right. There are people out there that maybe don't understand the scope of this whole thing and the fact that it's more than just St. Mary's. I mean, we're talking about North New Braunfels. We're talking about areas that even aren't affected that are concerned because some of these local businesses think this could happen to us.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Steve. I think that this could happen in any part of the city. I mean, what we're seeing is just, it's the optics of it have been so terrible that, like you said, ground zero is on my front door. So it's hard for me not to feel discouraged and almost feel like it's been deliberate and dragging the feet of this project from the contractors or the city. It's hard to point the finger in any direction, but in any regard, it's tough for us and it's going to be tough for another little while. I think the scope of the project is set to be complete in summer of 23. That's just for the St. Mary's Strip. That's not taking into consideration North New Braunfels or Broadway or certain downtown corridors because I don't know the timeline for those projects. But at any rate, it's been a nightmare for all businesses in San Antonio.
Yeah, the Broadway area is what we're showing right now. So we know that we've talked to the city about this. They've said that some COVID delays were part of the problem. They offered up some help in terms of money for marketing, basically to say these businesses are still open. Come be a patron. A lot of business owners pushed back on that. And now there is some grant money available. A maximum, I believe, $35,000 per business. What does that mean to you, your fellow business owners? Is that going to make a real difference?
It's a good start, but we do all, collectively feel like it's too little too late. And I share that sentiment with a lot of my business community that I'm in constant communication with. Going back to the previous 400K we talked about, I know y'all aired my redacted tweet. Sorry, Mom. But we were very critical of that money that would have been much better allotted to those businesses in the form of direct relief. So when we're talking about the grand scope of $35,000 as the max allotment that a small business can get in form of relief, that's not a lot of money. When you put that into the grand scheme of things, that is about the equate of 4 months rent for something like me. That's just 4 months that we're looking at, basically covering costs. And we're talking about 2.5 years of damages, irreparable damages, lost revenue. A Saturday night where I couldn't open one day a few months ago because saws had popped my main water line. I never was reimbursed for that. My utilities have never been covered. So it's a start and we're thankful for the start, but and at the risk of sounding like a broken record, it's not enough and it's too little too late.
It also, correct me if I'm wrong, but they had to switch construction crews out there, construction companies out there because the first one messed up construction. Do you think that there should be some sort of component where the city can hold these contractors responsible for messing up a job, for lack of a better word?
Absolutely. And we were very critical of that in last week's Public Works meeting when myself and Chad Carey asking these questions of, are we holding these contractors responsible? Who's holding them responsible or accountable? Because, I understand there's unforeseen circumstances like the soil issue that they said they encountered, or the month of November, which they claimed that, because of climate conditions, they were unable to work fully Of course, I did my due diligence. We only had about less than 5 inches of rain in November. So there's that. But, there's got to be some way of holding these contractors accountable and making sure that we're following this timeline, and also making sure that the businesses who are suffering are being compensated for their loss.
I want to know, we talked to somebody nearby at the poorhouse, not far from where you are. I forget the name of the first name of it, but they basically said their day-to-day at this point. Are you concerned about your businesses surviving what is happening on St. Mary's?
Absolutely. Not a day goes by, Steve, that I don't think about what the next day looks like, how long the scope of how long I have left is. That's tough to say out loud because I've been there for 7 years and I've had an extremely successful business that I'm very thankful for. But, it would be one thing, and I say this to my partners, to my staff, it would be one thing to fail on my own merit or my own regard, but this is not my failure. This is almost deliberate forced closure by the city and by these contractors. So it's a lot harder for me to swallow. But I do think about that constantly because it's gotten to that point where, we're having these days and these nights of very little sales because the inability for people to get down there. And it's just been really hard to, stay positive about.
Yeah, absolutely. And St. Mary's, the St. Mary's Strip, local businesses all along the St. Mary's Strip. There aren't any chain restaurants. There aren't any, for the segment where all this is, we're talking about local businesses in the heart of St. Mary's Strip. Aaron Pena, I appreciate your time.
Thank you all so much for having me.
Yeah, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. We'll be right back.